So I come from a space where I've only ever had to sell software, never had to really deal with a physical product associated to the sale. So Rams, you could probably answer this as well, but to the both of you, how do you strike that balance between showing and telling when you're selling a physical product, where you can't necessarily show everything that the product can do, but unless you're lugging a printer along with you? How do you just articulate all of the value, or is that relatively easy to do in your space, whereas like showing it may not be as practical? I don't know. I have a general question.
Probably the biggest help for that type of thing is the storytelling method.
Okay.
And that involves case studies. So knowing your product, for one thing, that's key. For, my last position was a subject matter expert. I knew everything inside and out of the product, not only in the technical side, but on the sales side, and then case studies. So when they're kind of hemming and hawing a little bit, perhaps, or not quite understanding what you're trying to tell them, that's where you can go into this. You know, I spoke with somebody in a situation very similar to yours, and they were in this same place, and they wanted to get to this place. And so our organization came in, and we did this, that, and the other. And again, depending on their technical level of expertise, that's where you level it in. You don't have to talk about, oh, well, we put in, 20 servers with high availability and VLANs all over, so data doesn't go, they don't know what the heck you're talking about. So it's, we had a customer like yours. They had a similar problem. They wanted to get to here. We were able to do that by implementing this simple strategy. I always try to make it easy, a simple strategy of doing, X, Y, and Z. And that will get you there if you follow this procedure that we're laying out for you. We've had so many other customers do it. So storytelling is wonderful. And people like hearing stories of how you've helped other customers and brought them to a success area that they've never reached before.
Sense. Yeah, and that's definitely a common theme I feel we've come across a lot on the show, just the importance and the value of storytelling in sales. And I think that carries across to both realistically, whether it be in your situations or even, let's say, if you're selling software as well. I mean, telling the story of how the software is going to benefit you, or just how the solution in general is going to benefit their organization and lead to all these great things that will make them and their organization better in the end. Yeah, I think that'll always win more often than not.
There is something I want to point out, that even right now, even if we're selling hardware, I sell hardware, like pieces of equipment. Everything is controlled through software. So from a demo perspective, if you want to show something, at least for me, I don't know, Doc, your experience, you're still showing them the software. You're connecting through their computer and showing them how it works. Now, unless they want to see how many pages, like they want proof that it prints 600 pages per second, maybe then you'd have to lug a printer with you. But for the rest of the time, I think you can demo everything virtually, really. I don't know, Doc, what do you think?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. What I love to do, well, with the latest software and many different softwares too, is when I do a demonstration, I don't use PowerPoint.
Yep.
I'll joke about it too. I'll start off with, I've got a 120 slide PowerPoint deck, let's get started. And they, you see the look on their face. Oh my, no. I'm going to open up the application. I'm going to ask you some questions, what's important to you, because my application can do all this stuff, but I'm going to bore you if I do all that. So let's get an idea of exactly what you need. And I'm going to show you these different pieces. Now, if you want to see more, we'll continue with that. And so, yeah, software, demonstrations are wonderful when you do them right, and that's probably the way you're going to go. And virtual is the best way to go for that, because you can bounce around. I mean, I've got like 7 screens in front of me with stuff, so when I'm doing demos, I'm able to pull from here, pull from there, grab some information and say, okay, let me bring this over and show you exactly how it's done. So yeah, that's the fun way of doing it, is being able to do it that way.